Good afternoon, everybody. My name's Scott. I'm calling from a customer called Sonder, and we've just recently partnered with Advertising Council Australia. Sarah has been working very closely with my colleague Hannah, who's actually off unwell today. So I'm covering her as we launch Sonder to Advertising Council Australia and your partner businesses. So I know we're tight on time, so I'll just jump straight into it today. Now, Sonder, we are a health and wellbeing and safety company providing all ACA employees and your partner businesses with 24/7 on-demand and personalized access and support across medical, safety, and mental health concerns. We're an Australian-based business backed by real people, and we're here to support you both at work and at home and to ensure you can keep living your best life. Now, to start off, I always like to begin with a definition of Sonder. So Sonder, the word, it actually is a noun. It's in the dictionary. And what Sonder actually means is the realization that each random passerby that you see is living a life as vivid and complex as your own. Now, what that means to us here is essentially empathy, and that we all channel empathy in every conversation that we have with our members and treat every member individually. So we do recognise that there's no cookie cutter approach to care and health and wellbeing. And as such, we consider all aspects of someone's life and what might be impacting them in their world around them, their personal situation, their work situation, and all of that impacts how we deliver support to you. Now, Sonder is available now. ACA has launched with us, I believe it was yesterday, Sarah. So it is available for your people to download, or for you to download. There is a big QR code there. Feel free to download now if you haven't already. To register to Sonder, it's very straightforward. You just need to download the app either on Android or iPhone, enter your work email address, create a password, and then you're in, good to go. No pressure to download now if you don't wish. There are QR codes scattered throughout this presentation, so feel free to do so now or at a later date. So just to reiterate who and what Sonder is. So we are one app, one go-to, one support network here providing 24/7 confidential support across safety, medical, and mental health. I've listed a few examples there of what type of support or areas we can help you with: mental health, medical, family life, pretty much anything you can tie support to. That is how we can help you and how you might choose to engage us. Now, as we're an app-based business, you can engage with us via chat or a text message. There are options to call through to our support center, or in certain situations, we do have an in-person response network too to assist you. So since we're a 24/7 business, you can engage us at any time, be that on your lunch break, on the bus home, up late at night, can't sleep, stressed out, just need somebody to talk to. That is when you might consider using our services. So who do you actually speak to when you do contact Sonder? Who's behind the app? Now, we are an Australian-based business and our support centre is located just down the street in Waterloo in Sydney. You'll always be speaking to a real person when you contact us at Sonder. Our team is staffed by a range of clinical and registered professionals sitting across nursing, mental health practitioners, clinical and trauma psychologists, midwives, social workers. And I guess the key thing that I just want to call out here is that we are all based in Australia. You'll always be speaking with a real person, and we don't outsource any services overseas. And you'll never be dealing with a bot or an internet or a robot when you come through to us. Now, who you actually speak to at Sonder is very dependent on your needs. So, for example, when you contact us, your first point of call will always be with our support center coordinator, who will just assess what kind of support we can provide you, be that a mental health concern or a medical query. Say it's a medical query, we'll understand what your current needs are, how serious the situation is, and then transfer or triage you through to the right arm of our business. Now, all up that process generally takes less than 2 to 3 minutes. So we are very proud of our KPIs there and sticking to very quick turnaround and getting you in touch with the right people when you need it. So how might you consider using Sonder's human support? We break this out into 2 categories, both get safe and well and stay safe and well. So starting with the get safe and well side of things, let's say you're feeling burnt out or anxious, either from work or personal situations or personal scenarios, I should say. You have access to a mental health professional through Sonder. If you're feeling unwell at any time of day, either you or a loved one or a young child feeling unwell, you can chat with a registered Australian-based nurse 24/7 by chat or text message or call. We also have safety alerts, which I'll run through in an app demo shortly, where we can provide you with with emergency type support as well. And moving over to the stay safe and well side of things, let's say you're feeling well, no immediate mental health concerns or medical concerns, you're doing quite well, you still can use the Sonder app, and there are a number of features available. We have a very in-depth help center library or content library where you might just be interested in doing some reading yourself on a whole range of wellbeing topics. So for example, how to deal with fatigue, how to sleep better, any burnout issues that you might be experiencing. We've also just added a new wellbeing assessment, a short 10-question survey. It takes about 3 minutes just to check in on how you're going right now. And then the survey will provide you with some personalized resources for some further reading. There's also a number of notifications that come through once you do download Sonder to really get alerts about events that are impacting the world around you. So for example, for those of us based in Sydney, it's been a few wild weather days coming through recently, a few crazy floods as well. We've been sending out notifications about that with members in flood affected areas, or in addition with all of these internet hacks that are happening at the moment, Medibank, Optus, events that might impact you. We also like to keep you across those.
Scott, sorry to interject, but just a quick question, because I've had a few people ask, is there a way of customizing our notifications based on our interests? I guess an example would be weather warnings, I don't know, global terrorism, I'm not sure. Is there anything that can classify us receiving, I don't know, X amount volume versus Y?
What type? It's a great question. And I feel like we need you in our product meetings because you've pretty much said what is on the horizon. We're not at that stage yet to provide, say, like a favorites of what you'd like to see notifications on. At this stage, I wish we were at that level, but not yet. It's coming.
Okay, no worries. I just thought I'd, ask the question.
No, it's a good question. What I can say though is all of our notifications are location based. So for example, our members in Sydney are not going to receive weather alerts for something that's happening in Brisbane, for instance. However, if you do go travel there for work, then and log into the Sonder app, then you will receive relevant notifications based on where you are. But no, great question. Now, just wanted to quickly talk through a few previous member stories and how some of our current members have engaged with Sonder. So from a medical side of things, we had a member reach out to us just feeling unwell and not sure what to do, whether they needed to go to a GP or hospital or just needed to self-care at home. So this member was feeling very relieved and very happy that they could just get in touch with a nurse at the touch of a button for free to understand what they needed to do to care for themselves. So that saved money on a GP appointment, and they didn't have to spend that time booking it and then going out to the doctor. Just as a reminder, Sonder is a free service to all ACA employees, so I strongly encourage you to take it up. From a safety side of things, I'll run through our safety features shortly in the app, but we had a member who contacted us on their way home from work on the train, and they were just made to feel quite uncomfortable from another person on the train and were unsure what to do. In this situation, the member reached out to Sonder, just called through to our nurse team. The team was able to provide that member with a little bit of reassurance and just someone to talk to and just keep them as calm as possible. And Sonder was also there to quickly call the emergency services if that situation was to escalate. Another example, pretty relevant at the minute with the recent floods in New South Wales and Victoria, our notification system also has the ability to notify members who are in flood affected areas that they might need to evacuate due to rising floodwaters. So I know that some of our members have found that very helpful, just to keep them across all the mixed messages that are coming through. We have a 24/7 emergency and business intelligence team that track all relevant channels across SES, news feeds, everything that might impact you. We're constantly taking in those resources and then delivering out these tailored notifications if and when they're required. And lastly, from a mental health side of things, how can we support you? I like to break this out into two categories. We've had a concerned manager come through to us in the past, noticing some concerning behaviours in one of their employees, unsure what to do as they're not technically qualified or trained to deal with some of the behaviours they were seeing. So our team was able to work with that manager, get the employee onto the Sonder app so that they could start receiving the care that they required. But we're also there to support that manager as well and follow up with that manager to make sure that they were also receiving the support that they needed as they were impacted by that situation. All right, so how are we? 15 minutes, cool. Just from a confidentiality side of things, something I always just like to touch on during these demonstrations, and just to highlight that Sonder is an independent and fully accredited health service provider. Now, what that means is that any interactions that you have with Sonder are not reported back into ACA or your employer. They all remain confidential with us. From an ISO and IT security standpoint, we are up to date with all of the relevant checks there. And I suppose I'd just like to just give an example. Sonder, it's like visiting your GP. If I go visit my GP on the weekend for a medical concern, my GP does not relay that information to my employer. It's all strictly confidential. So I'd just like you to rest assured that any interactions that you do have with us do remain 100% confidential. Now, moving on to family access, something that Hannah, who's been working with Sarah on this deal, is very pleased with, is that ACA is not just extending Sonder services for free to its employees, but also the immediate family members of all ACA employees. So what that means is that everything I've talked through here with the app is available to your immediate family. So think parents, siblings, partner, children. You are able to share this with your loved one, which I think is a great benefit that ACA has taken on as part of its partnership with Sonder. It's a very simple process to share Sonder with your family. I'll run through this in the app demo shortly, but all you have to do is send them the registration code, which is ACA FAM. And on that screenshot on the right-hand side, simply just log into the app, click send link, and share that with your loved ones.
Just on that, so Scott, just because it's been asked in the past, there was a question around, how young is too young to send from a child point of view. For example, if they've got, a 10-year-old or 15-year-old or whatever it may be, someone that's technically underage. Does Sonder think that it is appropriate for someone, is there an age limit or?
We do work with minors. We have a number of customers that have employees under the age of 18. And so we do have a specific privacy policy for our under 18 members. And we do, where we can, request parent or guardian consent prior to downloading the app. However, without getting too technical too quickly, the team does, not me, but the support center team do run a range of competency tests just to check. It's called the Gillick competency test, just to see what's the number of checks they need to complete just before they start providing advice. And the team do make some calls based on how that competency test has been completed. But it's a good question, and but if an employee wants to contact Sonder for a medical concern for a family member, they can still do that, or they can share Sonder directly with their family. All right, so I'm just going to try and get all technical for a second. It's the first time it's actually worked. First time, love it. All right, so let me just get back to the home screen. So here's the home screen, everybody. This is what you would see when you do download the Sonder app. Obviously, my name's not Deb. This is the trial version for ACA that we use internally. So this is what you'd see when you first log in. So you'll see some help tiles here at the top. These are just popular topics, a few hows and whys of how you might choose to use Sonder. So if I click into the mental health tile, for instance, you can see how we help here and how we can assist you. You'll notice that, how do I get rid of my head, by the way? There we go. Okay, that's better. You can see here that There is always the option to call or chat with the Sonder team. So if I click chat there, I can immediately start a text message conversation or call through. Back to the home screen here, just scrolling down, I mentioned the wellbeing assessment earlier. Now that's a quick 3-minute, 10-question survey, just checking in on your inner world, the world around you, and your physical health. And based on how you answer that assessment, you'll be delivered a number of personalised recommendations. So for me, I completed this assessment just today for you guys before this presentation. So you can see just how I answered it and also the recommendations there. So for me, a few articles on keeping anxiety at bay, the importance of mindfulness, and how to get a better work-life balance. So again, those would be tailored to your responses, and you can always refer back to it if need be. If I keep scrolling down the screen, we're getting into our content cards and additional help center content. Now, these are based on your location, and we do update these quite regularly. So yeah, Medibank's unfortunately all through the news at the moment. So some helpful information here if you'd like to take advantage of it. A lot of scams at the moment. Optus, COVID. R plates was something new. I need to read up on that one. That will be handy. But there is also it's quite an extensive help center library here, and you can quickly access it and search for quite a range of help topics. So for me, let's just put in an example for exercise. Just want to show you the articles that are linked through to exercise. If this is something that you'd be interested in reading, you can see all of the content that we have available there. If I scroll back up here, I talked about the help alerts at the start. So if you were in any type of immediate danger, you can send a help alert. And what this does is it means that you need immediate support and you can get instantly connected to our team. Now, you can contact the emergency services or 000 through the Sonder app. Just to remind, or just to be clear, we're not here to replace the emergency services. However, if you did call 000 through Sonder, we would be notified and we would follow up with you following that call, just to provide any additional support. Going over to the safety features, just want to spend a little bit of time here as some of these features may be relevant to you. We have 2 safety features in the app. One is called Track My Journey. Now, the Track My Journey feature, in a nutshell, if you tell us where you're going, we'll keep an eye on your progress to make sure that you arrive there safely. So you might consider using this, say you're walking home in the dark late at night or on your daily commute and just feeling a little bit unsafe. We can monitor your progress, track any inconsistencies, and if you do go off course or go the wrong way, then we'll contact you. At any time, you can click I need help or turn off the stop tracking feature. If you run into a friend or, anything, then you can just turn off the feature there. But it is a handy one to have in your back pocket. The second feature that I'd like to point out.
Can I just ask about that?
Go on.
So once someone arrives at their destination, and let's say, I don't know, it's been an hour and the journey was 20 minutes. What then happens? What's the scenario if someone doesn't arrive at the destination?
So you stopped en route. Is that what you mean with the?
Yes, but we didn't cancel. No one stopped their journey or whatever. They've just, for whatever reason, it could have been anything. They haven't arrived at their destination, and nor have they cancelled the tracker app. What's the scenario? What happens?
What's the escalation process? Yeah. So what we do is we'd first try to contact you through the Sonder app. So notifications through the app to say, what's going on? Can you please let us know and confirm your safety? If no response, then we'll start to text message and start to call. And then from there, it enters an escalation process that has a few different hoops that we need to jump through in the sense of who and how we engage you. But that could be anything from an in-person Sonder responder or an employee of Sonder, the local emergency services. Actually, those are the 2 that we would take. But there's a few other dependencies that come in there, such as time of day, location, if this is your first Track My Journey request, and just experience from the team there. So that is a great question.
Awesome.
The second feature I wanted to chat through is called Check on Me. The best way to describe this is that we can check in on you at a time you to feel safe in any situation that you might be in. Well, yeah, it's essentially just to ensure your safety. So you might choose to use this at any time, be it Facebook Marketplace. Say you're going around to someone's house, picking up something, you've never been to their house before, or someone's coming to your house, you might choose to use it. Internet dating is another big one, meeting people you've never met before out online, out for a hike. Could be any range of reasons, but you are able to plug in the notes, who you're meeting, what is the situation. That information can be very helpful to the support center team if you actually do use this feature. Just make sure you remember to turn it off. I tested this feature out one time when I was applying for the job here, and I was at the pub actually, and just put it on for 2 minutes and then went to the bar, saw a friend, and then forgot about it and had about 3 notifications and calls and texts from the team, which was good because I took the job, so I knew it worked. But yeah, it's a great feature. Lastly is just the notifications tab here. So notifications, relevant and timely updates based on what's happening around you, information designed to keep you safe and reduce your stress. So this is your version of the app. So there is quite a few unread ones at the minute, but you can see here just as an example, severe thunderstorm warning, Medibank, cyber attacks, I'm sure we've all heard about, and weather alerts and damaging winds. So these do get updated based on your location, as I mentioned. Lastly, in the More tab, this is where you can update your own profile information, access any previous support chats that you've had with the Sonder team. So you want to refer back to anything, then this is where that information is stored. Lastly, the most important feature though is Share Sonder. So if you see that 4th option down, this is what I was talking about earlier, if you wanted to share Sonder with your family. So you'd simply click Send Link. That will take you through to your share platforms. And then I can quickly just share that link with a loved one. So it's a very straightforward process to share the exact same level of access that you have on Sonder. So that's my presentation. Yeah, a couple of minutes to spare. So look, thank you everyone for your time. Sonder is a great thing that ACA has partnered with, and I know Hannah's put in a lot of work with Sarah. So Sarah, thank you for getting us to this point, and we're really excited to have you on board. And with that, be more than happy to answer any questions, either now or if you'd like to answer Sarah directly later, she can relay those back to me. So thank you everyone.